Hi Taurus, I'm really excited to be here with you today. This is Jean with Rebel Yell Rising. Thank you for coming to my channel, and this is your monthly reading for June. I just want to remind you all that I'm pretty new to this channel, so I really appreciate you taking the time and coming to my channel to watch these videos. I've already pre-shuffled this deck. I'm using the Green Witch deck by Ann Moura. And I am still getting used to doing these readings with a camera in my face, so I'm going to ask that you bear with me as I kind of get used to working around it. It's like almost literally right in my face. Okay, so I am just shuffling. Just give me a few minutes to call on the energy. God, what does Taurus need to know? Holy Spirit, what does Taurus need to know for June? Okay, and then I'm going to be doing a Celtic cross, which I think is really good for general readings. I don't use reversed cards, so if I get a reversed card, I just flip it right side up. Okay. And I like doing each individual card, flipping it over one at a time. I feel like it gives me more time to spend on each unique card and like really get into the meaning of it. Okay. And then in addition to the standard Celtic cross, I have a couple of cards, 4 cards that I have off to the side that you can't really see. Oh, hold on. Right there. I always have a couple extra cards that I use. I feel are kind of like advice. Okay. Okay, let's get started. The first card is your current situation, Taurus. Wow. The Crone. What a great card. One thing I do want to say about you guys, Taurus, that I know that I've recognized from a couple of Taurians in my life, someone that I love really very much, is that Taurus sometimes kind of gets a bad rap for being materialistic, and placing a lot of emphasis on their, material possessions. But let me say this, there's nothing wrong with placing a lot of emphasis on those things. That's why Taurus is here. That's why you guys are here in this particular carnation, right? That's why you're born under the sign of Taurus, is to accumulate these material possessions. But on the other side of that, it's to share, to support your loved ones, to share your gifts with the world. And in that sense, it's your material possessions that you've collected. And a lot of times, some of the Tauruses that I know, they can be described as cold, but what I've seen is that it's not fair to judge you guys that way if you've also been, judged as a cold person or materialistic. Because the Tauruses that I know, when their family or loved ones need help, they're very much there. A Taurus that I love very dearly, she let her adult brother and his wife live with them. She's taken in his kids. She does have a very large house and nice cars, but that's how Taurus shows their love and affection, is by sharing these material resources. So what I would like to say, having said all that, is that maybe the reason you guys are strength this month, your current energy for June, is that maybe you've come to a place where you feel comfortable, with your material possessions. Maybe you're comfortable in owning property. Maybe you've come to a place where you don't care if others judge you one way or another for having these material possessions or wanting these material possessions. Now, keep in mind, this is a general reading. So if this doesn't resonate with you, please check out your sun, your moon, and your rising sign readings. Okay. But this is kind of what I'm getting, is that there is this inner strength. Aries got this card too, and one of the things that I want to say is this is the strength card in the normal the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot, and here we have the crone, who is kind of valued and honored for her experience and her wisdom. Everything that she's been through. She's seen as like one of the wise elders, right? And then here we have this lion who is beautiful and majestic. Like, look how big that mane is, right? And sometimes people can be intimidated by this lion, the appearances. I feel like for Taurus, that could be your outwardly appearances, because Taurus is known for appreciating and enjoying the finer things in life. So maybe sometimes Taurus is judged because they have nice shoes, a nice car, a beautiful home, right? But on the flip side, Taurus is very practical. Many of the Tauruses that I know, wouldn't think twice about spending a couple $100s on a purse or a pair of shoes, but only if the shoes are comfortable, only if the purse serves a practical function, right? The Tauruses that I know, they are not going to buy something just because it's got like a fancy brand name logo on it. It has to be of good quality, which Taurus recognizes, and it has to serve a purpose, right? Tauruses definitely pamper themselves also, and that is why, that's not a negative trait. That's a good thing. And I think a lot of people could learn from Taurus how to take care of themselves a little bit more, how to appreciate themselves a little bit more. So I guess what I'm trying to say is your overall energy this month is strength. It's kind of like this balance between your wisdom, your experience, walking in your truth of who you are, what is important to you. And, if other people are intimidated by your outwardly appearance or what you have, that's their problem, right? You're just being you. And I feel like what a great card for Taurus to get. You are walking in your strength this month in June. Okay, so now we have your challenging or helpful energies, and we've got the Ten of Wands. So clearly this is a challenging energy for you. The Ten of Wands is all about carrying this heavy burden all by yourself, right? We've got this woman who is carrying this big bundle of sticks. Clearly they're heavy because she's bending over and like having to brace herself on this stone. But the one thing to say for sure is that she's gonna get there. You see all these lights. It's a good place that she's going. She's not like carrying this heavy burden to get to the doom of gloom of, what's that, Mordor in the Lord of the Rings, right? She's carrying this heavy burden to get to a good place, right? So the challenging energy is this heavy burden that you're carrying. The lesson of this card is that sometimes you don't have to carry this burden all by yourself. Oh, excuse the glare. Maybe you could delegate some of this energy. Maybe you could let some of it go. Maybe there's a more efficient or less strenuous way to carry this heavy load all to your destination. For example, like, what if this girl put down 5 of the wands, right? And she just carried 5, went up there, came back and carried the next 5, right? The point is sometimes it's a good idea to delegate where you can, okay? So this is the challenging energy for June. So whatever's going on, You guys are very strong in who you are, right? But you're carrying a very heavy burden. All right. Now, the root of the situation, the Queen of Chalices. So, it's funny. The Queen of Chalices is a very nurturing and emotional energy. Okay? And this applies to male or female. It doesn't matter who's watching this because it's an energy. And we all have masculine and feminine energies. But what this is your feminine energy. It's the emotions. It's the nurturing. She hasn't yet mastered how to control all of this water. You can see she's like completely surrounded by it. And it's just kind of almost like the tide is coming in. It's not necessarily overwhelming her. And it's not like a tsunami just like crashing over. But the tide is coming in. And it's almost as if like she's in a safe place right now. But if she doesn't learn how to handle all of these emotions, if she doesn't learn how to put up some sort of like barrier here, right, she will get overwhelmed by all this water. This is also very intuitive. The Queen of Chalices is a very intuitive energy. I mean, you can even see here the crab. I think this is normally associated with Cancer, which is known as a very intuitive energy. And then just a note, a lot of readers will assign court cards to a specific person in your life, but I don't do that. Just because I think it's almost impossible to say, okay, guys, there is a Cancer, Scorpio, or whatever the other water sign is, Pisces, right? Because how many like acquaintances or people you don't know very well, or colleagues or coworkers or friends, you know, like you have no idea what sign they are. It could be anybody. So instead I go off of an energy. So the root of your current situation is your energy. I'm sorry, is this particular energy, okay? And it could be that, you know, you guys are feeling a lot. You are very emotional. And again, how I was speaking that like a lot of Tauruses are kind of known for, you know, liking the material goods and like the creature comforts of life. People could tend to, you know, say that Taurus is kind of cold. But the people that I know that are the coldest are the ones that feel the most, right? So maybe this is why you're carrying such a heavy burden, Taurus. All right, your immediate past. And I know sometimes people wonder, you know, why are we talking about the past if the past is over? But the reason we talk about the past is because it still has a lingering effect on today. So your immediate past is the Oak King. And in the regular Rider-Waite Tarot, this is the Hanged Man, right? So whenever you watch this, your past is probably like weeks or months prior to watching this video. So here we have the Oak King. He is basically hung upside down, but it's by choice, right? And he's just tracing the sign, the symbol of, you know, the infinity symbol, which I believe it's called the lemniscate, I don't know. And just contemplating his place in the world, contemplating his place in infinity, in the universe, how everything kind of just continues, right? So this is where you were. I feel like maybe in May, you guys were very introspective, a lot of meditating, a lot of prayer, a lot of going within, kind of looking at yourself, right? Self-analysis, maybe becoming a little bit more self-aware. And because you did this, because you had more awareness of who you are and in where you are in this world, in this universe, in relation to everybody and everything, you know, having been very contemplative, you've become strength. You have become more assured in who you are. All right? You have the experience and sometimes what can be underestimated, right? And the outwardly dominating, scary side, but they're walking in tandem, right? And I feel like you got there because of your self-reflection. Okay, so now the next card we have, Taurus, for June is your crowning thoughts. What's going on in your head about the situation? The Battle Wagon. This is an awesome card too. So in, again, the Rider-Waite Tarot, this is the Chariot, and I love this card. I absolutely love it. Maybe it's because of my military background, but this is very militaristic. So your crowning thoughts about, June, this could indicate that you're looking to travel. If you're in the military, maybe there is an upcoming, PCS or TDY or some sort of deployment, some sort of travel related to the military. This could also be business travel. And if none of that applies to you, it's about control, authority. You see these two horses, right? Here we have the guy riding in the battle wagon, controlling these two beautiful white stallions. I don't know if they're stallions, but in my head, these are beautiful white stallions, right? And he's not holding the reins. Through his sheer will, right? He is controlling these horses. He is willing them where to go, which means he is physically and mentally capable of guiding these two, guiding his will, his life to where it needs to go. So maybe your thoughts are, you're ready. You're now strong enough, right, to take back control of your life, to be more proactive and assertive. Whereas in May, you might have been more passive and receptive. Okay, so now we have this next card, which is the immediate future. And again, this reading is for June 2017. So whenever you happen to watch this video is when is the right time for you. So this immediate future could be anytime in the month of June or anytime coming up in the short-term future from when you watch this video. Oh, Taurus, the Nine of Athames. So in your immediate future, it looks like there's going to be something that's going to be keeping you up at night, literally or figuratively. This is a card about nightmares, right? Not actual ones, but the things that worry you, the things that concern you. This woman has been having a nightmare, right? But she just woke up and realized that that's all it was. It's just a nightmare. There's nothing really scary out there. There's no boogeyman. The light is coming in, the full moon, right? Her subconscious is being lit up. And it's actually what is telling her there's nothing to be afraid of. Here we have the bat, which is a sign of transformation. So that's a really good thing. Whatever Taurus is on the move to, it's going to cause you a little bit of concern, a little bit of worry, and it looks like a little bit of anxiety. But the good thing about this card is it usually means that there's nothing really to be worried about. Okay, this next card, we've got your attitude about the situation, right? And I know you're probably wondering, why do we need to talk about my attitude towards this? Because whatever your attitude is, it could be very well that it's subconscious and you don't even realize what your attitude is. And whatever you're putting out in the universe is what you're going to be getting back. Okay? So your attitude is that you're going to have to balance everything, or that you can balance everything. Yeah, it's interesting. Aries got this card too. So this card is about balancing and juggling your resources, maybe balancing two jobs, like two part-time jobs or a full-time job and one that you're trying to get off the ground. But it also speaks to learning a new skill while juggling these things in your life, right? The sun is shining, it's coming through. So while these clouds indicate some sort of like worry, just like this, the sun is coming through to show you that there is hope, there is optimism. Be positive, you can do it. You can learn the skills of whatever it is that you're embarking on while managing, 2 jobs, home and work, your bank accounts, balancing that checkbook, right? The presence here of the fox means that you might also be thinking that you're going to have to be pretty slick about how you balance this. Like say, for example, you have a full-time job and you're also trying to get your own business going. Well, you might have to use your cunning, what's the noun of sly? Whatever. You know what I mean? Your slickness, if you will, to balance both of these. And don't be afraid to, because this is showing that you're very intelligent, right? And you have what it takes. You can do it. That's your attitude. That's a great card. That's one of like, I can do it. It's not easy, but I can do it. Okay. This next card is the card of the energies around you. And that could be of like friends and loved ones, the people that are the closest to you. And this is great because what this is saying is that the people that are around you are saying that you can do it. Again, in the original Rider-Waite Tarot, this is the Magician. So this card here in the Green Witch Tarot is the Witch. Here you have somebody who is out in public doing her spells, her magic, her rituals. She's confident and she knows how to do all of her rituals, right? She's got her tools at her disposal. She knows like the recipes and ingredients of each one of these spells. She knows to block off her sacred space with salt to create a sacred space. She knows what she needs to do. And she's also doing it out in nature. She's grounded and she knows and understands that being out in nature connects us all to the divine, right? So these are the energies near you. So either this is, the energy of your spouse, your parents, your coworkers, best friends. They're all believing in you. They all know that you can do whatever it is that you need to do. It really seems like, Taurus, you're kind of setting out on a new endeavor. Because whenever somebody is starting out on a new project or getting ready to start on something new, the witch shows up, right? And it kind of also goes hand in hand with the battle wagon, like you're just ready and full of gusto, as well as the Two of Pentacles, where you're balancing things. So this pretty much shows that you're supported in whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. Okay, that's a great card. And this is what you need to not neglect. How's that for double negatives? It's any hidden energies or hidden information that you're not aware of. The Knight of Athames. So this could be the energy of a person coming into your life, or this could be your own energy. It's almost a reckless energy. The Athames is the swords, and it's the air element, which rules intellect, communication, logic, analysis, right? Your thoughts. So here we have this knight who is just ready and gung-ho to go off charging, super optimistic, super happy, and kind of just wants to show, what he's got, and to hurry up and like go and share what great ideas and great news he's got. This almost kind of reminds me of Paul Revere for some reason. So it's kind of like Paul Revere getting ready to go right off and warn everybody about the British coming, right? So it's almost kind of like you want to make sure that you have all your facts checked before you go rushing off. Or on the other side, if somebody comes rushing into you with information, make sure you fact check their information, okay? Because maybe in the excitement maybe in the optimism, something got crossed. Maybe, the information should be, I don't know how to explain it, but maybe, for example, like if it's Paul Revere, maybe he's saying that the British are coming by land, but they're really coming by sea, or they're not even coming at all, right? So that's kind of the energy of the Night of Athames. Just like there's very fast, eager information coming or going. Just make sure you check it, all right? Don't just take it right away. You want to make sure that you're covered, that your bases are covered, okay? And the overall outcome for the month of June, Taurus, look, what a beautiful card. And it's very fitting because Taurus is all about, possessions, and this is the Harvest card. Look at this. You've got the beautiful house. There's a picture of, the wife in the background with the husband, and he's got like these little elves that represent like, nature spirits. This is a beautiful, beautiful card. It's basically kind of like you're going to be you're going to be reaping what you've sown. Okay? So you've put in a lot of hard work. You've put in a lot. You've balanced everything well. And now you're going to be getting what you put in, which is a wonderful card. I don't think this really needs much explanation. So if it gives you any comfort, while yes, it looks like you are going to be upset or concerned with some things, overall in the long run, everything is going to be fine. The sun is shining. Look at all these beautiful fruits and vegetables. You're going to have all of your material needs, I feel, and then almost even then some, right? Because this is such a bountiful, bountiful card. That's a great card, Taurus. Okay, just give me a second to see if there's anything else here. Also, I'm trying to make sure I don't run my face into this camera. You've got quite a bit of major arcana cards here too, Taurus. And I can definitely empathize with that. That's very similar to how some of my readings have been lately. So I know that can kind of leave you feeling like frustrated. It can leave you feeling like you don't have control over everything, over anything, which is probably why your crowning thoughts are about being in control, is because you probably haven't had very much control lately. Again, for those of you who are not, readers, the presence of major arcana cards, such as, the Battle Wagon, the Crone, the Oak King, and Harvest, those are all indicative of like universal energies that are coming into your life. Whereas the minors, such as the Queen of Chalices, the Knight of Athames, the Two of Pentacles, those are indicative of like daily choices, things that are within your realm, things that you can affect. Okay, so now I'm going to look at these next cards that are the bottom left that I showed you earlier. And these are all really great cards too. So I'm going to show you, this is how they came. Okay, so what's holding them up, it looks like the Lord of Shadows is kind of the theme, which just means that there's a big transition coming, right? Something is ending. But things have to end in order for something else to start. I know that sounds like what I call a duh statement, but we can forget. And also it can be hard for us to remember that when we're going through tough times. So if you guys are going through tough times, just remember this moth represents a transition. You're going through a big transition. This could be internally or externally. Here's a well, which is full of water, right? Waters of life. And here you've got like a young guy and maybe his grandfather just filled up their waters. And here the Lord of Shadows is looking after them, right? He's not scary. He's even holding some sort of like flower or whatever there. All this really means is that there is a change coming, which is always a good thing. because if you've been going through some crappy stuff lately, I would definitely be welcoming change. Okay? And then for what it's worth, the number 13, it gets a bad rap as well, but 13 is actually, in my opinion, a great number. I consider it my lucky number. I love it, right? You have Jesus and the 12 disciples. That's the number 13. I'm sure there's plenty other examples, but of course, now that I'm making this video, they're all escaping me. But in regards to that transition, I have these other 3 cards, which I take as advice. So it's kind of like comforting that here you're going through a change. And this could be the change. You're leaving these stormy, rocky waters that are really unknown into more peaceful and calm waters. All right. So there's definitely more peace of mind coming up for you. This card could also mean some sort of travel or vacations coming up. But if that applies to you, awesome. Great. It is summer coming. But I really take this card to mean that there's a mental vacation, if you will. Things are changing. You're transitioning. Okay. Here we've got the 9 of Pentacles, right? Maybe that's what you're transitioning to, is to this sort of environment where, you've got the family, they're happy. You've got the house, it's beautiful, family, money, resources. These guys don't look super wealthy, but they're definitely not lacking for anything. So through hard work, right, both in love, in relationships, and on the work and career front, this family is in a great place. And what is that thing sticking out of this lizard's head? Looks like a boot. Okay. And then also the Queen of Wands, which is the dominant feminine energy. Again, it doesn't matter if you're male or female watching this. It's just the feminine energy, right? Of your passion, your drive, your ambition. What makes you different from me, from any other Taurus watching this video, right? She is excited. She knows that she has this capability and she's eager to use it. This is a fire sign, which is very passionate. And I would only just caution that you think before you go rushing off to wield your wand, per se. Okay? All right, Taurus. That is it for your June 2017 reading. I hope you enjoyed it. Please feel free to leave any comments below. Feel free to like it if you like this. I appreciate